Good evening. This is Pastor Omar Muhammad. I am your proactive agent of change who communicates so that others might be healed, liberated, and appreciated. If you are checking out this broadcast today, this is my special broadcast. You know, I usually only broadcast Monday through Friday, but today I'm broadcasting from the house, and I'm looking at, right now I'm looking at the book Kwanzaa, so this is going to be a part of my Kwanzaa series. Today is the second day of Kwanzaa, which is a cultural holiday. Good to see you, Crystal. This is the second day of Kwanzaa. It is a cultural holiday in which we celebrate the virtues of a culture and a people. Today's word is Kuja Chakalia. Kuja Chakalia. That is a word that means, hey, good to see you, Crystal. Today is Kuja Chakalia. That is a word that means self-determination. And if you can see that right here, I'm going to try to make it focus on it right quick. It says self-determination is, Kuja Chakalia is to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. It's the second principle of the Nguza Saba Kuja Chakalia. And I'm excited about it because this is a principle that reminds me of my father. So here's the thing. If you want some information about Kwanzaa and how to understand it, the author is, the actual creator and author of Kwanzaa is Maulana Karenga. He is the creator of Kwanzaa, and this is a book I read every year. But it's an interesting book. It's one of the first books that I read that I don't underline this book. I just keep it because I want to hold it for my children so that they can have it and keep it as a refuge because they want to copy things and things like that. So I experience Kwanzaa every year with my children. What we do is we go through some of the principles of Kwanzaa every year. We have candles. We light the candles, which is part of the process. And so today, I don't know if they would speak up, but today we went over the second principle. Any of y'all want to say anything about what the second principle is? What's the second principle of Kwanzaa?
Self-determination.
Yes, self-determination. You're right, Naeem. And what does that mean to you?
That other people's opinions shouldn't make you feel a different way about yourself.
You're right.
He said determine how your life will be and how you want it.
He said that you determine how your life will be. That other people's opinion doesn't determine how your life would be. And I think that's my youngest son, and that's one of the most profound stuff I heard in a long time. Kuja Chakalia is just that. It is self-determination. It is where we determine what we think is good for ourselves. I used to practice Kuja Chakalia early on. Some of you may not know that Pastor Omar Muhammad used to be a dreadlock man. Yeah, my locks used to be all the way down my back. And that was many years ago. And what I thought was this. I said part of my expression of Kuja Chakalia was that self-determination, that I determine what beauty is. I determine what my culture accepts as acceptable for the workplace, acceptable for life, and things like that. And it was hard because at first my parents wouldn't let me wear dreadlocks. It was hard. They were like, "Oh no, you can't do it." But then I tried to share with them that it was just a cultural thing. It was just me showing that I wanted to have my own aesthetics and what I think was beautiful and wonderful. And now dreadlocks is everywhere. You can see them everywhere. So I'm like, I did my job. We changed a little bit of the culture that appreciated us. Now sisters can wear braids in the workplace, and it won't be considered unprofessional. Now women can wear, men can wear natural hair styles. A part of our African tradition, where we braid our hair, where we style ourselves, where we grow locks. All those things are part of our African tradition, and we can be happy about it. It's nothing wrong with it. It's an encouraging thing. So I like that. So Kuja Chakalia is about self-determination. It's about you taking your destiny in your hand and saying, from life, from now, from my awakening to my consciousness, to me becoming aware that I am a living example. I'm a human being created in the image and likeness of God. From that, when you start having that kind of awareness, then you can say, well, what can we do? If I'm a co-laborer with God, if I can work things out, if I can determine my destiny, I don't have to live in a fate. I don't have to stay poor for the rest of my days. I don't have to stay broke. I don't have to stay uneducated. I don't have to stay in a situation. I can determine my destiny. You and God together, working together to do a thing. That's self-determination. The way my father did it is this. You may not know that I was not always Omar Abdullah Muhammad. I was actually born, I'm going to say it so the first time, so some people are here, some people are not. I was actually born Omar Abdullah Nash, Nash. That's a big shout out to the Nash family. All you guys know that I have not abandoned you. But when my father made a determination that he was going to break away from the mental slavery and enslavement of that he experienced, every time he heard his name, he said, "That's not my name." You know, in Kunta Kinte in the movie, he's like, "Your name is Toby." He said, "No, my name is Kunta Kinte." Kunta Kinte lost a foot trying to have self-determination. He's like, "Man, I determine who I am. You don't tell me my name." And so my father did the same thing. He determined that he was no longer going to be called by the slave holders. I didn't say slave masters. I said the slave holders. He was not going to be held by the slave holders. He was going to determine what his name was mean. And Muhammad means helper or comforter. So he named me Omar. That means a firstborn, eloquent, talkative, Abdullah, servant of God, the helper or the comforter. And my father blessed me with that. And now all of our family, all of our tradition, he had 7 children. He had 4 boys and 3 girls. All of us have children. All of us carry the Muhammad name. And we have a sense of dignity and self-worth knowing that my father made a determination. He was self-determined that he would no longer be called by the slave master. And his children would grow up to be educated and wise and intelligent. All of his children went to high school. Several of them graduated from college. Several of them have other degrees beyond that. And that was just what my father did. He said, "I'm going to make a difference." Now, I know some of you are doing the same kind of thing. You're making a difference in your life. So I'm hoping that today, that as we celebrate Kuja Chakalia, self-determination, that we will look around and see what other things we can determine. We can determine that our future will be bright. We can determine that our future will be glorious. We can determine that our culture will be a culture that always reverence God. You know, I did an application recently, and the motto of this university that I was looking at was God first. You know, that we as a culture, we always were a spiritual people. We always were people that realized that God was first. And we determined that. When we go to church, our culture demands and it almost dictates that we are expressive in our worship and expressive in the way we share. We don't just sit and, "Oh God." No, we're like, "Oh my goodness, God is good all the time, and all the time God is good." So we determine that. We determine that, we like a little bit of culture in our thing. Like in my house, there are pieces like this all over my house. Cultural heritage. This is beauty to me. This is a mud cloth coming from Mali, Africa. But it's beautiful. It's real. You can be a part of that. You determine what your destiny is. You determine what your future is. You have the power in your hand. You and God together have the power to determine what's going on. So I love this principle, Kuja Chakalia. For my father, for me, it was I wore the dreadlocks. And I entered in a whole new way of aesthetics, a way of beauty. And now so many young people are wearing their natural hair. That was for me. My sons, I see them, now they're growing their hair out. First I was like, "Why your hair so nappy?" And I had to back up and say, "Wait a minute, I'm doing the same thing my daddy did to me." So I let my hair grow out because my father cut my hair all the time. My sons, I let their hair grow out. Now they're showing. Now I see a whole cultural movement of young people being proud of their hair that defies gravity. Their hair actually defies gravity. They are not ashamed of their African culture. They're not cutting it off and trying to take away their heritage. They're not trying to bleach their face and change their ways and change their look and try to look like someone else. They're happy in the melanin that they have. They're happy in their culture. They're not trying to talk like somebody other than themselves. They determine their future. So I'm so glad that Naeem, he said he didn't want to be seen on the program, but I'm glad that he contributed. Anybody else want to contribute before I go? Sadiq, you want to say anything? Safia? Yes, what do you want to say? Harambe! He said Harambe. That means pull together. So and my other son, he's saying lion, because we believe in Jah Lion. We believe in the God being the yes, bless up, and we bless the people, and we do all these types of things. So you see, at the Muhammad House, we have a lot of fun. We always learning, we're always studying, we're always sharing, we're always communicating so that we might be better. Because we believe that when we leave a place, we should leave that place better. So I thank you for coming on to this broadcast today, checking us out. We said Kuja Chakalia. We talked about Kwanzaa. Sophia, want to say something before you go. Sophia, what do you want to say?
Kuja, wait, no.
Come on. You want to be on? You want to be on? Come on, this is the opportunity. I'm opening this up today.
Okay.
Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata, yes. So no worries. That's Kiswahili. So we speak Kiswahili. We encourage Spanish. We encourage all the languages. We do all that we can do. Sophia, I know you smile. I'm glad you're on TV with me today. But we do all that we can do as a family to show our love and care and concern for one another. So I want to thank you today. You know I am your proactive agent of change. I communicate so that others might be healed, liberated, and appreciated. Every time you check into our broadcast, you're always going to get something good. What I want to encourage us to begin to do as a community, as you follow me, I want you to begin to interact with me. Don't just let me talk. I can talk all day. But what I want to do is know what's on your heart. Some of you out there, especially the Christian people, today I'm going to hit it. Especially Christians. Some people say, "Is it Christian to celebrate Kwanzaa?" You know, and I'm like, because they think it's a religion, you know, one religion or another. Like if Maulana Karenga started a religion. Now he did not start a religion. He did everything in his power to try not to be religious. So, however, the principles are good. The principles are good for the uplifting of the community and the uplifting of the person. So I just on Christmas Day. Even though I know Jesus Christ was not born on December the 25th. I hope you all know that. Because if you come to my class at the King's University, I'll teach you about that. But the thing is, we do celebrate that the Christ, the Messiah, was born into the world. And we don't take anything from that. It is Christ, the Messiah, that gives us the strength, the power, the authority to take our life into our own hands. To say, God, with you, I can do all things. And all things are possible. I do not have to stay in a state of poverty and lack, fear or dismay. I don't have to stay any of those things. I can actually change my thinking, and by changing my thinking, I can change the outcomes of my life. So today, I'm thankful for this. I'm so glad you came on today. This is Sophia. She's here with me. I love her. All right, Sophia. Bye-bye. Anyway, you see, we have a lot of fun here at the Muhammad household. So if you stay with me, listen, I'll be back on tomorrow. There's another principle, and I'm going to try to be on every day this week for the principles of Kwanzaa. And if you have any questions, come on, get them together. Go on and pick up the Maulana Karenga's book. And if you want to dialogue with me, you want to argue my point, you want to say something different about it, please feel free to do that. This is your forum. This is your opportunity to do it. Other than that, I got to go. This is Pastor Omar Muhammad. I am your proactive agent of change who communicates that others might be healed, liberated, and appreciated. As my saying always is, keep your hands clean and your heart pure, because this is the will of God. And before I go, let me just say this. Father, I thank you and praise you for all the blessings and wonders that you're going to do. I thank you for those people who are going to catch on to this program and going to enjoy the opportunity to serve you, and they're going to do some great things. So I'm praying, Father, that what you would do today is that you will help us to be self-determined, that we will take a good review of our life during these next few days before the new year, and we determine what it's going to look like. Is it going to be better? Is it going to be more fulfilled? Is it going to be more work? I'll check my inbox and do that for you. So we thank you and we praise you for what you're doing now. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. God bless you. I'm out. Kuja Chakalia.